Justin Bieber just broke the internet again, and this time it wasn't through a flashy outfit or a cryptic tweet. It was a single song quietly posted to his Instagram story. The track's lyrics are nothing short of haunting. A woman, trapped in a loveless marriage, stays for her children even while her heart pulls her elsewhere. Then comes the knife-edge confession. She wants to be with me, but she can't be with me, a line that feels less like poetry and more like a private admission. As the song unfolds, it paints a stark portrait of sacrifice. She traded her own happiness to play the picture-perfect wife and mother, yet always carried feelings for the man she truly loved. Bieber's chosen lyrics hit an even deeper nerve with, "It was love at first sight, until she finally told me she was married and unhappy," culminating in the devastating refrain, "I wish I never met her even though I love her." Those words have set the fandom on fire. Posting a track that raw at this moment can't be random. Is Justin quietly confessing turmoil inside his marriage to Hailey? Or is he still speaking to someone from his past, a love story that never truly ended? With one Instagram story, he reignites the very question fans have debated for years. Did he ever move on, or is he still haunted by the one who slipped away? The mystery hangs heavy, daring everyone to keep watching for the truth hidden between his lyrics. Justin Bieber just broke the internet again, and this time it wasn't through a flashy outfit or a cryptic tweet. It was a single song quietly posted to his Instagram story. The track's lyrics are nothing short of haunting. A woman, trapped in a loveless marriage, stays for her children even while her heart pulls her elsewhere. Then comes the knife-edge confession. She wants to be with me, but she can't be with me, a line that feels less like poetry and more like a private admission. As the song unfolds, it paints a stark portrait of sacrifice. She traded her own happiness to play the picture-perfect wife and mother, yet always carried feelings for the man she truly loved. Bieber's chosen lyrics hit an even deeper nerve with, "It was love at first sight, until she finally told me she was married and unhappy," culminating in the devastating refrain, "I wish I never met her even though I love her." Those words have set the fandom on fire. Posting a track that raw at this moment can't be random. Is Justin quietly confessing turmoil inside his marriage to Hailey? Or is he still speaking to someone from his past, a love story that never truly ended? With one Instagram story, he reignites the very question fans have debated for years. Did he ever move on, or is he still haunted by the one who slipped away? The mystery hangs heavy, daring everyone to keep watching for the truth hidden between his lyrics. But just when fans were still processing the emotional weight of that post, Justin shifted the tone entirely. A few hours later, he returned to social media, not with another cryptic message, but with something that felt sharp, even defiant. He posted fresh photos and added a caption that immediately reignited speculation. "You could point at my flaws, or you could recognize your own little bit." The energy was different now. Gone was the reflective sadness. In its place was a hint of frustration, maybe even resentment. Was this a clapback at criticism? A response to the people dissecting his every move and lyric? Or was it directed at someone more specific? Someone from the past who still holds space in his story? The tone felt deliberate, like a man who's tired of being misunderstood, tired of staying silent, and finally ready to push back subtly but powerfully. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get more emotionally layered, Justin added yet another twist. He dropped a screenshot of a FaceTime call with Hailey Bieber. But it wasn't the image that got people talking, it was the song playing. In the background, Sexual Healing by Marvin Gaye, an iconic track, raw and direct, all about craving physical intimacy as a way to soothe emotional wounds. After pouring out his soul in a song about impossible love and quiet suffering, Justin pivoted to this, a sensual anthem about closeness and release. The contrast couldn't have been more intense. On one hand, he's expressing heartbreak, longing, and the pain of staying in a life that doesn't match the heart's truth. On the other, he's showcasing Hailey, paired with lyrics about passion and desire. For fans, the message was almost too layered to ignore. Was he saying that while he may be emotionally torn, Hailey is still his source of physical comfort? That maybe love and passion don't always walk hand in hand? Or was it a strategic distraction, an attempt to douse the flames of speculation before they got too real? Either way, the internet was officially on fire. Fans were quick to call out the emotional whiplash. Just hours earlier, Justin had seemed vulnerable, almost broken, as he shared a song about a woman trapped in a life she didn't want, and a love that couldn't survive. And now, he was pairing Hailey's smiling face with a song that pulled no punches about desire and physical release. The lyrics of Sexual Healing aren't subtle. They speak to the body's need for connection when the soul feels lost. Lines like, "When I get that feeling, I want sexual healing and it helps to relieve my mind," made the timing of the post feel deliberate, even provocative. Was Justin trying to show the world that while his heart might be in turmoil, he still had something grounding him, something physical, something comforting? Or was he using intimacy as a temporary escape from deeper emotional wounds? For some fans, the message was clear. This wasn't about romance anymore. This was survival. Emotional chaos on the inside, masked by sensual closeness on the outside. A kind of quiet plea. I may be hurting, but I'm still here. And this connection is keeping me afloat. Others saw it differently. To them, the post screamed contradiction. How can you bare your soul in one moment, then rush to prove your marriage is strong the next? Was it an act of love or damage control? A reassurance to Hailey or a message to someone else? The duality was dizzying. First, a song about lost love and quiet suffering. Then, a FaceTime and Marvin Gaye. It left everyone asking, which version of Justin is real? The man grieving something that never got closure, or the man trying to convince himself and the world that he's already healed? And just when the emotional roller coaster seemed to be slowing down, things took another sharp turn, this time from Selena Gomez's side of the story. While Justin was out here pouring his heart into lyrics about unfulfilled love and emotional pain, Selena's close friend and longtime makeup artist, Unresolved, casually posted a video of her dancing and lip-syncing to a bold TikTok sound. Done with your ex, move on to the next. The only ex I want is extra money. No extra stress, no extra worries. Fans didn't see this as a random glam room moment. They saw it as a message. Loud, clear, and just a little savage. While Justin was sinking into sadness and regret, Selena was glowing, dancing, laughing, and vibing to a song that basically screamed, I'm unbothered and done with the past. The timing felt way too perfect. It wasn't just the choice of song. It was the fact that it dropped just after Justin's emotional post. No captions. No explanations. Just Selena, carefree and confident, while the internet burned with speculation. And fans, especially longtime Jelena watchers, went into full-blown theory mode. Was this Selena throwing subtle shade at Justin's sudden vulnerability? A cheeky reminder that while he's still tangled in what could have been, she's already moved on? Or was it simply a power move, a flex of emotional freedom to contrast Justin's apparent struggle? Either way, the message was impossible to ignore. Because in that moment, the contrast between them couldn't be starker. Justin's lyrics were heavy with regret, talking about a love that didn't survive, a woman who sacrificed her happiness, and a man who can't let go. Meanwhile, Selena was dancing to a song about leaving the past behind and chasing peace over drama. It was almost cinematic, like two characters from the same story. Only now they're in completely different movies, and that's exactly what made it all feel so intentional, so layered. Because this wasn't just about two celebrities posting on the same day. This felt like a conversation happening in silence. No tags, no direct mentions, but every post, every lyric, every movement seemed to echo off the other. Fans have seen this pattern before. Justin posts something emotional or reflective, and not long after, Selena responds not with words, but with energy. And that energy, this time, was loud. The video, though casual on the surface, was dripping with message. Selena wasn't crying. She wasn't reminiscing. She was glowing, carefree, and dancing like she had finally unshackled herself from a story that once defined her. And let's not forget, this didn't come from a fan edit or a distant friend. This was posted by Hung Van Gogh, her ride or die, her inner circle. That's what really set off alarms. He knows the timing. He knows the narrative. Which is why fans were convinced this wasn't accidental. While Justin is out here sharing lyrics about a love he lost, a marriage that feels hollow, and the torment of what could have been, Selena's just living, thriving, letting the world know subtly but clearly that she's not in that chapter anymore. Maybe she was once the woman stuck in the emotional wreckage. But not now. Now she's done with exes, done with breakdowns. And done, perhaps most powerfully, with being the soft place someone returns to when everything else falls apart. That's the part that really hit home for fans. Justin's storyline felt stuck like someone flipping through the old pages of a book, unable to stop reading the same paragraph over and over. But Selena, she's not even carrying the book anymore. She's walking into a new story entirely. And the contrast between them. It's impossible to ignore Dot, and as the dust settles for now, one truth remains: the world is still watching. Not just because Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez are global icons, but because their story taps into something deeply human. The what-ifs. The unfinished endings. The ache of loving someone at the wrong time, in the wrong way, under the wrong circumstances. For years, their relationship played out like a live drama in front of millions. And even now, long after the breakup, it's like the echoes never stopped. Justin's latest posts, emotional, conflicted, layered, don't feel like random social media activity. They feel like chapters. Like he's still trying to write the ending to a book that refuses to close. Whether it's through soul-bearing lyrics or spiritual captions about forgiveness and healing, he's showing a side of himself that fans haven't seen in a while. Vulnerable, searching, maybe even regretful. And that vulnerability has cracked. Open a wave of speculation that won't die down easily. Meanwhile, Selena's response, if it was one, wasn't a counterattack. It was a reset. A statement that said more in a smile and a dance than 1,000 words ever could. She's not looking back. She's not sitting in heartbreak. She's laughing, thriving, and most importantly, unbothered. If Justin is still grieving, what was lost? Selena is celebrating what she's reclaimed. Herself. But the emotional divide between them isn't just personal, it's symbolic. It shows the difference between someone who's still working through their pain and someone who's already transformed it. And that's what resonates so deeply with people. Because everyone has been on one side of that divide at some point. And everyone knows how hard it is to cross it. So now, the question isn't just what Justin's lyrics meant, or whether Selena's video was a subtle message. The real question, the one fans can't stop asking, is this: are they really done? Or are they still talking ... just not with words? Because when you look at the way they move, the way they post, the way they still seem to respond to each other from afar, it feels less like coincidence and more like a quiet, unresolved conversation. And maybe, just maybe, that conversation isn't over yet, and that's why this story refuses to fade. Because deep down, fans aren't just watching two celebrities. They're watching reflections of themselves. Justin and Selena have become emotional archetypes. The one who still feels too much, and the one who's finally free. The one searching for redemption in old memories, and the one dancing through new beginnings. It's not just gossip anymore, it's a human story of love, loss, healing, and everything that happens in the messy space between. Justin's posts may have come from a place of longing, but they've opened up a wave of vulnerability in the public eye. Whether he meant to or not, he's revealed cracks in the picture-perfect image. The happy husband narrative feels increasingly complicated, and fans are starting to ask real questions. Is Justin content in his marriage, or is he simply holding on to something because it's stable? Is he still haunted by what could have been with Selena, or is he wrestling with the version of himself he lost along the way? And then there's Hailey, the silent figure in this emotional storm. She hasn't said a word, but her image in the FaceTime post, paired with sexual healing, speaks volumes. Is she aware of the emotional chaos that lives just beneath the surface? Or is she part of the effort to patch it all together, physically if not emotionally? It's impossible to say. But the silence itself has weight. The contrast between Hailey's role now and Selena's presence in the background of Justin's emotional posts only deepens the tension. Meanwhile, Selena's fans see her glow up not just as personal triumph but as poetic justice. For years, she was portrayed as the heartbroken one. Now she's reclaiming the narrative. No tears, no cryptic quotes, just peace. Her video with Hung wasn't flashy, but it hit hard. Because it showed something no caption ever could. She's no longer defined by the love that broke her. And that, in a world still obsessed with our past, is the most powerful message of all. In the end, this isn't about who won. It's about emotional timing. About two people once tethered by love, now moving through very different emotional seasons. One still wrestling with the past, one finally walking away from it. And the rest of us? We're just watching, wondering, and reading between the lines. And perhaps that's why this story still holds so much power, because it doesn't have a clean ending. There's no official statement, no final closure, no neat separation between what was and what still lingers. Justin and Selena were never just a celebrity couple. They were a cultural moment, a living metaphor for first love, young heartbreak, and all the tangled emotions that come with growing up in front of the world. What we're witnessing now isn't just two exes navigating separate lives. It's the emotional aftermath of a love that left permanent fingerprints. Justin's pain feels raw, unresolved. His recent posts don't just hint at regret. They expose a man who's wrestling with choices that reshaped his life. A man who may be married, famous, and seemingly settled, yet still pulled toward a chapter he's never fully closed. His lyrics suggest he still dreams about what could have been, about a love that was never given its full chance. Selena, on the other hand, has transformed. What once consumed her now fuels her. Her silence isn't passive, it's powerful. It says, "I've healed in private, I've grown in silence, and I don't need to explain that to anyone." Her glow isn't just aesthetic, it's spiritual. And that's what makes this emotional split so captivating. While Justin seems to be unraveling in front of millions, Selena is rising quietly above it all, and yet, their connection still feels unbroken, like two souls sending signals. Across a distance neither of them fully knows how to close. Not through words, but through lyrics, timing, energy. It's why every song Justin shares is dissected. Why every Selena post feels like a reply, whether it is or not. Because for the world watching, this isn't just about what happened, it's about what never got to finish, and maybe that's the real reason fans won't let go. Not because they're stuck in the past, but because they see something in Justin and Selena's story that feels too familiar. The lingering emotion. The questions without answers. The feeling that sometimes love doesn't end, it just fades into silence. And in that silence, the loudest messages are often delivered. Justin's pain, though filtered through music and half-lit Instagram captions, feels like a man caught between two worlds, one that he's built with intention and one he left behind, but never emotionally escaped. His marriage to Hailey may look picture-perfect from the outside, but more and more fans are asking, is it emotionally fulfilling or simply familiar? Is he sharing life with someone who grounds him, or hiding behind intimacy to numb the ache of someone he never stopped loving? Because let's be honest, sexual healing wasn't a random choice. After confessing to heartbreak, he turns around and posts a song about physical desire. That's not subtle. It's emotional contrast at its rawest. Fans are reading between the beats. Maybe Hailey represents peace, stability, the version of himself that's trying to heal. But Selena? She was chaos, intensity, heartbreak, and maybe, just maybe, the last time he truly felt alive inside the storm. And the irony? While Justin's trying to process those storms publicly, Selena seems to have finally found her calm. Her journey hasn't been smooth. She's had to fight through breakdowns, headlines, therapy, autoimmune illness, betrayal, and more. But now, she moves with clarity. Her laugh hits different. Her energy speaks before she ever says a word. And that confidence earned, not manufactured, has become a mirror Justin may not be able to look away from. Because here's the thing. Heartbreak doesn't always end when the relationship does. Sometimes it lingers in the music you write, the posts you share, the eyes you avoid in the mirror. And when one person heals faster than the other, it creates a kind of silence that feels louder than any argument ever could. That's what this moment between Justin and Selena has become, a silent echo of something real, something unresolved, and something both of them, in their own ways, are still responding to dots. So while the internet debates who's winning, who's thriving, who's still hurting, the truth is much simpler. They're just two people who once shared something electric, and now, even years later, can't help but feel the static. And that static, that invisible current still pulsing between them, is what keeps pulling the world back in. Because deep down, people don't just want gossip, they want truth. They want emotion that can't be faked. And that's what Justin and Selena have always given, even unintentionally. Their story isn't clean or controlled. It's messy, beautiful, tragic, and human. And no matter how much time passes, it keeps finding its way back into the conversation. Justin might be married, Rich and globally adored, but none of that insulates him from the weight of emotional, unfinished business. His recent posts don't feel like calculated PR moves, they feel like a man unraveling in plain sight. A man trying to figure out if he chose peace or settled for quiet. If he's loving someone deeply or simply surviving in a role that looks right but feels hollow. And when he drops lyrics about a woman stuck in a loveless marriage, fans don't just wonder who's singing about, they wonder if he's actually singing about himself. Meanwhile, Selena's refusal to play into the narrative might be the strongest move of all. She doesn't need to post a sad song or explain how she feels. Her energy speaks for itself. She's not spiraling, she's soaring. She's not waiting for someone to see her worth, she's embodying it every day. And in doing so, she's reminding millions of women that closure doesn't come from the other person. It comes from within, but that's also what makes their dynamic so heartbreaking. Because while Selena has seemingly healed and stepped into her power, Justin still feels caught in the web of everything they once were. He might never say her name, but his art does. His silence does. His contradictions do. And whether it's intentional or subconscious, every post feels like a page torn from a love letter he never got to send. So no, this isn't just nostalgia. This is grief in real time. Healing in motion. Love that lingers in the shadows long after the lights go out. And as long as Justin keeps singing about the one who got away and Selena keeps moving like she's finally free, the world will keep watching, not for drama, but for the quiet hope that even in heartbreak, there's still something deeply honest worth holding on to. And maybe that's what keeps the story so alive, not just for fans, but for them too. Because some love stories don't end with a door slamming shut. Some just dissolve slowly over years in the form of songs unsung, apologies never spoken, and glances exchanged through the veil of fame. Justin and Selena may be living separate lives now, but emotionally, it's like they're still walking parallel paths, occasionally glancing sideways, wondering if the other is looking too. Justin's struggle isn't unique, it's painfully relatable. Trying to move forward while a piece of your heart is still anchored in the past. Projecting stability while your soul quietly mourns what could have been. That's why his recent posts have hit fans so hard. They recognize that internal conflict. That ache for something that once felt like home, even if it burned you on the way out. And when he speaks of love that can't exist, of wanting someone he can't have, the world doesn't just hear a song, they hear a confession. On the other side, Selena's journey has become a blueprint for emotional evolution. She's not pretending the past didn't matter. She's just not letting it control her anymore. Her joy feels earned. Her freedom feels sacred. And the fact that she can exist in this storm without adding fuel to the fire, that's strength, that's growth. While Justin shares his pain in public, Selena protects her peace in silence. And ironically, that silence might be the loudest message of all. Because while he's still trying to find his footing, she's already dancing on solid ground. And maybe that's what really stings for those who've been watching since the beginning. Not that they didn't make it work, but that one of them still seems to be asking what if, while the other is living in what now. In the end, there may never be a reunion, never be an answer, never be that final conversation. But the echoes of their story are still felt by millions. Not because we want them back together, but because their love, with all its flaws and fire, reminds us of our own unfinished chapters. And whether they speak to each other again or not, one truth remains: some stories never really end. They just stop being told out loud. And perhaps that's the most haunting part of it all, that this story, for everything it was and everything it couldn't be, now lives in the spaces between their posts, in the lyrics that go unexplained, in the eyes that look content that sometimes flicker with something unresolved. It lives not in public declarations, but in quiet undertones. In the way Justin still writes about love lost and forgiveness found. In the way Selena radiates joy with just enough edge to remind the world she's been through fire to get here. Their silence doesn't feel like avoidance. It feels like memory. Like two people who have said everything that could be said and now exist on opposite sides of a bridge they know can't be crossed anymore. And maybe that's okay. Maybe healing isn't about returning to what once was, but about learning to carry it with you without letting it break you. Justin, whether intentionally or not, continues to let the world see him at his most raw. That vulnerability is rare, especially for someone who grew up being told to perform strength. He's no longer hiding the emotional weight. He's letting it breathe through music, through spiritual reflection, through the kind of posts that don't ask for sympathy, they beg for understanding. His heart seems to be in a war with his reality. And even if he never names names, it's clear he's still speaking to someone who left a permanent imprint. Selena, by contrast, seems to have found peace in the letting go. Her power doesn't come from clapping back, it comes from not needing to. From living so freely that the past no longer gets a seat at her table. That's not detachment, it's transformation. And the quiet confidence in her recent posts, her movements, her joy, that's what fans are celebrating. Not the drama, but the resilience. So now, as fans scroll through their timelines and piece together fragments of a love story that once felt like the center of the universe, they're left with one final, unshakable feeling. Maybe Justin and Selena were never meant to last forever. But maybe they were meant to show us what real love, real pain, and real growth look like when the whole world is watching. Because in the end, what they gave each other and what they left unsaid has become something more than just history. It's become a mirror, a lesson, a reminder that even the deepest connections don't always end with closure. Sometimes they just become a part of who you are, forever.